here remembers Psi Ops? A third-person action game where you fight a specialist group of psychics and their own army of drones using your own psychic powers and weaponry. I do, and I love it. Released for the original Xbox like this copy, but also the PS2 and Windows, and even today you can get it on Steam in 2004 in Europe, this game was an extremely important part of my gaming history. And to be honest, it's done quite well in the gaming community. I mean, this is on the featured list of, I think it's 100 games you have to play before you die. It's extremely unique, and every time I hear people talk about this game, it's always with fond memories. But for some reason, we never saw a release of a sequel, and we've never seen a remake of this game, which I still find baffling. I mean, on Metacritic, this game still has an 84 to 89%. I mean, everyone loves this game, and it's just a piece of history. Don't know why, but we haven't seen a game like this in a long time. I think the closest thing we could have is The Force Unleashed, but it's a real shame, you know. At the time of its release, this game also had a pretty big rivalry with another kind of game based on psychic powers, Second Sight. And although I've never played this game, I think we can all agree that Psy-Ops is way better. We begin the game with our protagonist Nick Scryer, strapped to a medical bed.
Intelligence has the movement attacking the refinery in about 90 hours from now. We're ready when he is.
This memory wipe will give us plenty of time to drop him in and get him past the movement's psi probes.
So Nick's mind is wiped and given a new identity, and he's put on a refinery which is under attack by some unknown force. Oh no, lad, you dropped your rocket launcher. Pick it up. There we go. Oh no. Hey look, Clone Wars.
Pull back!
Holy shit. Shoot him. You still have time, just shoot him. Come on, you still have time, just shoot him. Shoot him. Your fault. So next thing we know, Nick and the survivors of the battle are captured and taken to some sort of evil underground lair run by Ozzy Osbourne? Oh no, wait, it's actually run by this guy called General Krieger.
Welcome to the movement, gentlemen. I am the General. You are my recruits.
So what does Nick do straight away? He grabs a soldier's sidearm. Great idea.
You will serve, or you will die.
Okay, that's one down, mate, but what are you going to do about the guys who can pick up trucks and control entire armies with their mind? You see, Nick, think it through, eh? Mindgate's best. What were the rest like?
Begin to rub it ever so gently. If I'm going to shake this spoon, it's going... There it is!
So next we're set free by our guide for the game, this lady. She gives Nick a pistol and tells him to go to the supply room.
Nick, calm down.
How the hell do you know my name?
I can help you get out of here, but you have to trust me.
Trust you?
Trust this for now, at least. Just get out of the cell block and meet me on the supply room on this floor.
Okay, so meet up at the supply room, wherever that is. Damn, she seems familiar. But I don't know whether I should trust her, kill her. Ah, whatever. At least she gave me a gun. It's better than a kick in the nuts.
Better than a kick in the nuts? Yes, Nick. Well, here are some other things that are better than a kick in the nuts. So the cool thing about this game in particular is it's very varied in ways you can play. At the start of the game you can only use firearms, but you're also able to sneak around for easy stealth kills. I still have no idea what Nick keeps in his boots to make that noise when he runs, but it's still fantastic. Due to Nick having a health bar in this game, he's able to pick up medkits, which is a nice way for players to charge headfirst into battle with the peace of mind Get it? To not worry about health if they explore. So next we get to the supply room, but I gotta say, there's not many supplies here. Apparently the lady who's helping us is called Sarah Blake. Honestly, she's a good female character compared to most modern ladies in games, as she more or less drags your sorry ass through the game as you bumble about. She also gives you a shot of something to reactivate your suppressed psychic abilities. Next we flash back into time to see when Nick first used his powers. It's here we find out that he worked with the large black fellow from the previous cutscenes up to 12 years previously, as he was his instructor. What's really cool is every time you do one of these flashbacks his hairstyle changes, which is pretty neat for a game like this to include as it's such a small little gimmick. So after getting to grips with telekinesis, or TK from now on, the game's pace picks up a lot. TK is by far the most overpowered ability in the game, but it's incredibly satisfying to use. It's clear that the designers built the game around this mechanic, and honestly, it never gets old. Now, Second Sight also had TK as an ability, and it looks something like this.
Make it! Hello? Is anyone there? No, God! We have a
Yay! But in Psy-Ops it looks like this. From here onward, Nick pretty quickly recalls how to use all of his abilities across the next few levels, and there are a lot of them. Remote viewing allows you to see around the play area to assess new threats and environmental hazards without being seen. Mind Drain saps psychic energy from enemies, and Mind Control does yeah. Aura View shows hidden details in the environment, and finally there's Pyrokinesis. The ability to throw fire with your mind. Fire with your mind. How? I don't know, magic I guess. However, as Nick fights through the compound in search of his men, he finds his old mate Sanders.
Impressive.
Damn it, Sanders. Nick then decides that the movement needs to be destroyed, so with the help of Sarah we acquire some explosives and set them in place. However, with all three placed, Ozzy returns.
I'm not too fond of getting my hands dirty. Instead, I take over the minds of others. They do everything I say, like good little puppets. They even see for me.
This is the first boss fight of the game, and this game has some really cool boss fights. For this one, Nick has to pick up the soldiers that are, explosive? And throw them into the pods where they infinitely spawn from. With all the pods destroyed, our foe, Leonov, fights us head on. Apparently he can still see me, despite being blind through the soldiers he possesses, but they're all dead. How is he seeing me? He launches explosive energy, throws his cane, and even messes with your control and button placement, which is really frustrating. However, if you smack him with a box enough times, he'll go down fairly easily.
I have your mind.
Well, that was lucky. Now we need to escape the base before the other bombs go off. Then finally, we square off with the General.
Nick Scryer! I should have killed you when I first saw you. The best agent I ever trained returns to me as my enemy.
Train me. Sarah! Why did I trust her?
Sarah Blake, how to do a competent female character since 2004. Now on our third level of the game, Sarah drops Nick onto the airfield of another base owned by the movement. See, this is the thing I love about this game, it's got really good pacing with each environment, set piece and stealth section.
Okay, Nick. Keep a low profile.
Intruder alert!
Well, stealth is optional. It's at this point you'll have access to a total of 4 of your psychic powers, so you'll likely have a lot of fun messing with your opponents in this area. After a bit of fighting, Nick regroups with Sarah and she gives him a bauble called Luna 1, of which the villains are not too happy.
I'm leaving to oversee the fusion in Hong Kong. For that, we need Luna 1, or all we have worked for will be thrown away like garbage. Get it done, or your bloated corpse will find its way to the trash heap as well.
Barrett, dude. Temper.
Scryer.
Damn it! Sarah, one day that's gonna get you killed.
I infiltrated the movement to find my sister. We were both agents at Mindgate. You're going into the factory?
Well, that's the plan, isn't it? Barrett's cooking up something in there related to Luna 1.
He's looking for you. I think you should leave Luna 1 with me, Nick.
Well, you seem different, I just can't place how. Also, did I mention that, Nick's pretty stupid? Oh, silly Nick, look what you've done. Now to finish off the area, we face off against Barrett, the master of telekinesis. Barrett's TK is way more impressive than Nick's, but he doesn't move much for the fight, so even though he can lob shipping containers, crates and a cocking lorry at you, it's not a very tough fight. With the fight won, Barrett escapes in a jet to which Nick swiftly follows in the chopper he originally landed in, leaving Sarah behind.
Nick!
Contacting Agent Scryer.
Who is this?
You'll find out soon. I've been monitoring your progress, Agent Scryer. I'm sending you the coordinates of the compound now.
These coordinates lead nowhere. What is this?
You just pass through an illusion barrier, land between the buildings, and from there you can infiltrate the North Tower.
I know what you've done. I can see your mind. You're my one now.
Okay, stop! Just stop!
Oh. Hi Jimmy. What's up?
What's up? Well, you're making fun of one of my childhood heroes of a game!
It's dumb.
You're dumb! Now listen, don't make fun of this game until you play it, alright?
Fine. I'll play it at some point, alright?
Yeah, you better. You better.
Okay. Here we meet a lady by the name of Kamiko who tells us about a monolith and warns us about our next antagonist, Mei-Lu. Mei-Lu's power is essentially messing with your mind using illusions. Some of them are pretty weird, but we do get to be put into a dystopian cityscape full of burning buildings and streets, alluding to Nick's past battles and actions. So obviously the next course of action is to fight zombie soldiers in a graveyard.
I love this game so much.
So next we fight Wei-Lu herself. This one's really weird. First we face sword-wielding statue warriors, and then Wei-Lu does this. Mother of God, why? You have to destroy her arms to deal damage, and honestly, this is the strangest boss fight in the game. Well, maybe. After a puzzle which involves putting the capsules into a glowing bin, we confront Sarah and she gives us a keycard.
You just got pranked, bro!
And wouldn't you know it, there's another boss fight, with a lady who really loves fire. She has two stages, one where she fires a laser cannon and then one where she throws fireballs at you.
Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me?
Back in the chopper. Do we need to refuel this sometime? We've been flying it a lot. The next level is pretty creepy, and we learn Aura View to see otherworldly stuff, including these things known as Aura Beasts. Jesus Christ! This is clearly the more horror-oriented level of the game.
We can split up and look for the General. But look out for Wrightson and these creatures. They seem to be under his control.
Who's Wrightson?
Nick Scryer, it's great to see you again.
Oh. Him.
This is my temple now. With my abilities, I see all and know all. I pierce the soul and control the mind. I control creatures from beyond our dimension.
Doing a little homework, sis? Tanya?
Your sister?
Nice to see you again, Scryer. Thanks for Luna 1.
Oh, she has a twin! No shit.
Wrightson!
Ready to play?
Wrightson, you're weird. Okay, Wrightson's getting on my nerves. I think it's about time we took care of him.
I'll enjoy ripping out your soul and using your body to take the monolith for myself!
Oh, dude, you're really weird. So we finally get to kill Loopy Mr. Wrightson. This guy shoots you with laser beams whilst the monster thingies get in the way, so you need to shoot his monitors. Okay, with that done, we're now on the final stretch of the game and face off against Barrett and the General. I just realised that if you replace the word Psy with mutant, this is essentially the plot of X-Men, isn't it? Pretty sure.
Scryer!
Sarah?
Mom always did like me best, bitch.
So we get into this final confrontation with the General and he's got this big contraption. Then Barrett moves to the moon. And is shot in the head. Okay. Well, he's certainly chuffed about it, isn't he? A bit too much for my liking. To beat the General, there are a few sections to the fight. First, you need to damage all the pillars until they collapse. Then these glowy orbs will litter the room and you need to collect them all. Okay. With all of them collected, you can then shoot them at the General to damage him. Reminds me of another third-person Midway game. After enough hits, the General is drawn into a miniature vortex or black hole or something, and all is well.
No one will ever unlock the power of the monolith again.
Looks like we have help.
That's no help. I remember everything now.
Or not. Who are they? Why are they shooting us? Oh, I'm excited. This should be good. This should be... To be continued. I have been waiting over 10 years for a sequel to this game, and the fact that it's a Midway game doesn't bode well for it. I don't think we'll ever get a remake of it, and I doubt we'll either get a sequel. But hopefully we'll never forget this game and what it did for gaming, because really, it was a bit of an envelope pusher. It really did change the way we played games in a small way, and it really stood out from the crowd, and even to this day is an extremely unique experience. And honestly, I have not played anything like this in a decade, with exception to maybe Star Wars The Force Unleashed, because it has a lot of the same ideas, like basically telekinesis being force powers and force lightning instead of pyrokinesis, but again, it's still not quite the same experience. In an age where we get so many remasters and games that don't even necessarily need one, I mean, Gears of War Ultimate Edition was a great remake, but it wasn't necessary. Saints Row 4 certainly wasn't a necessary remake because it wasn't that old of a game. And we're even seeing remakes across small gaps in the console generations like 8th to 9th. And yet somehow this exceptional game hasn't had a remaster. It boggles the mind, because it's one of those games that really deserves one. The reason we haven't had a remake is probably because it's a Midway game, and those guys with their games made some really good games, but they've been pretty tentative with ever making anything from these guys because there's probably a lot of legal stuff and red tape involved. But if you guys want to check this game out, you could try and get a copy for the original Xbox or PS2, or more likely you can get it on Steam, though I've heard it's a little bit buggy. But either way, definitely a game you should check out, and I give it my seal of approval as one of the best games I've ever played. Even despite some of the crazy acting and silly moments, it still really does hold up today. But either way, that was the first Grizzly Gem of 2016. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was the first Grizzly Gem of 2016. Hopefully it'll be one of 12 I've got lined up, one for every month, but we'll just have to see how that pans out, but I'm hoping it's going to be a very good year. I've got a couple of videos here for you to check out if you want to check out some other stuff I've done recently. I'm going to put my most recent Grizzly Gauntlet, which is of the game Breakdown, and I'm going to put the previous gem, Knights of the Old Republic, there, because I mean this is only the second episode of this series and you might want to catch up on the previous one. Though with this series compared to the Gauntlets, I think I'm still kind of feeling into the role and getting the grips of how to do it properly and what to refine. So it's still a very raw kind of video idea right now, but I think it's getting there, and more importantly I think it's entertaining to watch. But either way, here are some bloopers from the show about the recording of the live action mainly, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later. Upon its release, this game was actually also in a big rivalry with another game. I'm Jonathan Ross, and now I'm having a rivalry with this game. River Wheels and the Wicked Wolf's Wizardry. Jesus Christ! Sorry, it's not even plugged in. I fooled you all. Oh god, I lost it. I saw myself on the camera like, can't do it. I hope there's no one like the other side of the door who's going like, is Andy having a shit? In his room.